12 petitions and over 1 million signs on them. The Russians are asking Putin to stop hostilities and start a process of making peace, but on paper, and they oppose one of Putin's main ideologies, the war for new territories. From peaceful actions to radical ones, this is how Russians rallied against the war in Ukraine and forced mobilization at the end of September. Then, 730 people in 32 cities of the country were detained. Among them was Fyodor Orlov, a Sota Telegram channel correspondent. He was reporting from the place of action in Voronezh. Among the detained Russians was also a girl with a poster, "Flowers are better than bullets. Thank you very much for your non-resistance." The Russians, despite mass detentions, continue to go to rallies. As a rule, they are coordinated in anonymous Telegram channels. The participants are even asked to dress unobtrusively.
Why do you need to protest? Because the only one who can change everything is you, your friends and acquaintances. You are not going for someone else. You are going there, first of all, for yourself and for your freedom. Today you will not be affected by all this, but tomorrow your best friend, father or brother will be conscripted.
The fight against the Putin regime continues, but in a partisan format. The Russian oppositionist and leader of the international movement Speak Louder Andrei Sidelnikov said.
Since last year, there have been more and more cases when not only the military enlistment officers are set on fire, but also the property of people who are involved in this regime. Those people can be head of the village council, head of the police department. People know who cooperates with the Kremlin, who benefits from it. There are no peaceful methods of fight left for people. They are all blocked by this regime. Those who cannot be silent try to do at least something, and this is a great contribution to the victory over the Putin regime and the victory of Ukraine.
The Russians understand that the second wave of mobilization cannot be avoided, and they continue to leave the country en masse. According to Forbes, 700,000 people have left Russia since the start of the war. The most popular migration destination is Georgia. More than 110,000 Russians have fled here this year, according to the Georgian government. Russians also continue to flee to Turkey, Kazakhstan and Finland. And for those who do not have the opportunity to leave the country, they offer alternative methods to avoid mobilization.
I live with my girlfriend, and in order not to receive a summons, we turned off the doorbell at home and do not open the door to anyone and do not make unnecessary sounds. Andrei, 32 years old, in an interview with Deutsche Welle. I do not live at my registration address now. Our work administration is against the war and does not support mobilization. They showed us a human attitude and did not leave us. If people from the military registration and enlistment office come to our workplace, they will be sent with summons to the employee's registration address. Sergei, 25 years old, in an interview with Deutsche Welle.
But political experts say that such methods will not save you from mobilization, and they insist on leaving Russia.
Других способов, кроме как уехать,
There is no other way but to leave the country. But there are temporary ones, like changing the official place of residence. But this does not guarantee anything. A person cannot stay in a rented apartment for several months and not go outside at all. It is very difficult. It is impossible. Therefore, I recommend leaving the country for states where it is safe, till there are still opportunities. Maybe 10, 15 days, 3 weeks at most, until the borders for the male population are completely closed.
Russian celebrities also support Ukraine. They continue to oppose the war. They publish video messages showing their solidarity with Ukraine and Ukrainians.
Слава Украине, братан!
Glory to Ukraine! Glory to the heroes! Yes, you are awesome!
Я хочу сказать, что я конкретно
I want to say that I am against the war that Russia is unleashing against the people of Ukraine right now. I think it's a disaster and a crime. The history of the wars in Iraq and Afghanistan, the bombing of Belgrade cannot justify what is happening right now. It seems that we, on the contrary, should learn from these examples, and no matter how they explain it to us, that it is not aggression, but protection. Ukraine did not invade Russian territory.
The battle in Russia today is not only against Putin's war in Ukraine. Human rights activists call on Russians to fight for gender rights. The State Duma discussed amendments to the law on gay propaganda at the end of October. They can ban any public information about LGBTQ+ people in Russia. The human rights initiative, the LGBTQ+ case, proposes to fight and write appeals to deputies with the requirement not to allow the adoption of amendments. Reported by Dana Kolesnik, Nelia Yanchuk, UATV News.